Hi everyone, this is the first lab in the Microsoft Azure Fundamental course. In this lab, we are going to be exploring the Learn Sandbox. If you are not able to create your Microsoft Azure free account, you can take advantage of this sandbox. This sandbox gives you access to a subscription, an Azure environment. An organization will be created for you, and a subscription will be added to that environment. You can actually use it to complete all the labs within this course. So the sandbox gives you access to Azure subscription depending on the lab you're completing. So, like I said, how do we activate, how do we make use of this sandbox? And that is what we're going to be taking a look at in this lab. So the first thing is to sign in into the sandbox in order to activate it. To sign in, we are going to be making use of a Microsoft account. So if you don't have one, you can create one. So I'll click on the sign in button here, and this takes me to where I need to authenticate. So I'm going to be authenticating with my Microsoft account, which is my personal account. And this is going to, okay, I'm going to put in my password. Yes, I'm continuing. So let's wait for this to sign in. Now you can see it's checking for existing sandbox. It needs me to verify my account. So I'm going to wait for this. So most of the time you might not get this. So I'm going to click on the verify and complete this puzzle. Okay, so this looks the same. Yeah. So you can see now it's checking for now. I'm currently logged into the Microsoft Learn environment. The next thing for me is to actually review the permission. If you do not do this, you might not have the necessary permission to complete whatever lab you're trying to complete. So after signing in to activate, you need to click on review permission, and you will notice that some permissions will be assigned to your account to complete the lab. So let's just wait. Now, so here I'm going to review. There's some permissions that are required by the Microsoft Learn Sandbox. So I click on accept, and you will notice that some permissions, will be assigned to my account. So it's verifying the permissions now. Just hold on. So it's creating the resource group that are needed for me to complete whatever exercise I want to complete. For you to be able to use, maybe the CLI, the PowerShell within the Azure environment, you need a storage account to be created. And that's what's going on. Storage account is being created for me at this time. So let's wait for this to complete. Now you can see, like I said, you're going to be assigned, the environment for just an hour. And for every time you are trying to complete a lab, every single day, you have access to send 10 sandboxes every day. And so after completing this lab, if after an hour, if I activate another one, that will be two out of 10 until I get to that limit for the day. Then I will not be able to make use of the sandbox again until the next day. So you could see that I'm being signed into the Azure Cloud Shell environment, and in this lab, the first thing is to activate the Learn Sandbox, which we have done. The next one is to make use of the PowerShell CLI. Now, so this is being activated now. So you can see this has actually been activated for me. We're currently logged into the Azure Cloud Shell, and this is PowerShell. So So we can go ahead with the lab. So the first thing is to get the date. So this is just like how do you use this sandbox. So the first thing is to run, this PowerShell command, which is the get date. You can copy this and just paste, and this is going to get, this is to date, this is the time. And also another thing you can do is to check the version of the PowerShell you're currently using. So you can just type that out if you do not want to, copy and paste. And you can see, the CLI version, the CLI code version, and some extension versions. So the next thing for me is to, use the Bash CLI. And to do that, I need to switch from the PowerShell to the CLI, to Bash. And how do I do that? I need to type in the Bash. The same way you can switch from Bash back to PowerShell by typing in the PowerShell keyword or the PowerShell command into Bash. So the next thing for me is to get the date in the Bash environment, just the same way we've done it under the PowerShell. So we're going to be doing the same thing. So I'm going to copy this and run this also here. And let's see if you can see this is, if you try to do this, you're going to receive, an error because this is a PowerShell command, that I've put in there. Now for PowerShell has two parts. We have the verb and we have the noun. In case you want to learn how PowerShell works, maybe one of these days I'm gonna be making a video on the basic things you need to know about PowerShell. So that's not the same command that we run, in the CLI. So to do that, you just type in the dates, and this gives you, the date for the day. Again, there are other things that needs to be done within this lab, and that's for us to upgrade our CLI. And I can just copy these and paste it. Says, so you can see it's picking up, the latest one. And I've seen some errors there. They're checking. So we are not really bothered about, if we have an error. It's just for us to at least run that particular shell. The good thing is you are making use of the cloud shell, and you are going to be getting the latest version. So there is nothing here to, to be upgraded. So the third one is to use the Azure CLI in interactive mode. And when we say interactive mode, in the sense that when you're typing in any command, you want the shell to predict the next thing you want to type in. And that's what will be. So we need to run the interactive command to be able to make use of this. So I'm just going to copy these and paste. So I'm going to paste this. Oh, that's all done. So I'm going to paste these. Paste this. Yep. And this is going to, now you can see it's installing. Yes, I want to upgrade it elementary. This is okay. The default answer is yes. So if the default answer is yes, you can just go ahead, to press enter without pressing the yes or no. All right. So currently we are now in the interactive mode. If I try to maybe put in any command, you can see there are suggestion, for me. Um, CLI is actually saying, can this be the next thing you want to type? Maybe this is the next one. Maybe this is what you want to do. So That's the way the interactive mode worked. So, like I said, you can decide to put in the version, like you can see here, the upgrade, or even exist from the CLI. So if I just put in exist, and this is just going to go out of the interactive mode. Now you can see I'm back to the bash environment. Now if I want to go back to the PowerShell, I can just type in, that's going to be, and you can see this will take me back to the PowerShell environment. So this is how you navigate between all these tools. The last one is to, at least let's see how the Azure environment looks like. And so let's wait for this to, as is still switching. So the last one, like I said, is for us. Now we are back to the PowerShell. Now, the last one for us is to check how the Azure portal is. To do that, even when you do not have any Azure environment, the sandbox has actually created, a learn or a test environment for you. So all you need to do is just to go to the URL, which is portal.azure.com, and you will notice that an environment has been created for you. So let's hold on. So you're going to see the directory as the sandbox. So in case you have additional, or you've created your own account in the past, you can have the same thing I'm seeing now. So you can see this is my own organization name. So if that is the case, all you need to do is to switch. So to switch, just click on this icon, then go to the switch directory. Then here you can see the Microsoft Learn environment, which is the sandbox. Then I'll switch to that sandbox environment. But if you do not have any Azure environment, you will be logged in directly to the Microsoft Learn Sandbox organization. So this is what you can see. Like I said, you have a subscription that has been created for you. And under that subscription, you notice that a resource group was actually created for us. You can see the subscription has been created. The role is specific access on, just for me to complete my lab. That if I click on this concierge subscription, you would see that a resource group has been created for me. And under the resource group, if you click on that, you would see the storage account that has been created for me, for so that I can actually make use of the cloud shell. So that same cloud shell I was actually accessing from here, I can do the same from here by clicking on this cloud shell, and I will get the same thing. In here, you can switch between the tools instead of putting in the command. So you can say the PowerShell. If I want to go to Bash, I can do the same from here. So yeah, you can just take a look at whatever is actually within this Azure environment, the enter ID, the resource groups, some of the resources, how to create them. The only thing you need to know is you might not be able to create some resources, depending on the lab you're completing. That is the permission that has been assigned to your account. You know, this is just to prevent users from using the sandbox environment for commercial purpose. All right. I think that's the end of this. Bye.